yata Chiro Tsomalani, Tragedele Sevadani, Takazumana Jigazo, Ani Winjunga Mine, Gomshi Jawina, Ani Shitan, Ningandiga Ditch, Litu Sala Supala, Ani Lele Zotialani, Amatai Betataniga, Ani the Pedusho is a resident Tunisia.
Just touch the leg and greeting to all the Dharma friends. So we, as usual, will begin with our short breathing meditations. So this meditation, breathing meditation, will help one to settle down all the agitated, and the distracted thoughts. And bringing about calm and peace within our mind.
Tashi to ganja disala tes june ma shewa ina ta ne ligun du tontela din do jeta tadiga sheje tadiga ji zotawa ina tesi susu gomde tembo da irimbo da jaya tadiga ani pendo ya boye sares ina ya ani ta susu desada ani susu tadiga che matawa ina ya susu gachi de tesi ani gachi ina trombo sontawa ina ani te hichimechi tenuchi kugesa des.
So for the effective meditation practice, so we find in the scriptures about the sitting features, which consists of 7 or 8 sitting features. So of course, if you can adopt all these features in your meditation postures, that would be good. But otherwise, just to make sure that one of the very important feature is to keep the back of the body straight, and so essentially, so these features, the benefit of this feature is to do the meditation for a prolonged period of time, and so also as well as there are some a number of some added benefit in terms of even the maintaining concentration and so forth.
Da matundeo konja ete ya unyunga la mine konja ko yore unyunga la mine konte ni da le tombo wata ane da tesi konsange na ina ya ane pedo khale se chembore de yore tenza unyunga la mine konja di sala ane ichimechi da susu uya to mai lo ete teni le mine ane mando di sala mando so na chita ya lesson ya sustiniga mi pa ichi mechitela tembo so yores.
So breathing meditations, so in which we focus, direct our mental focus on just on the breathings, incoming and outgoing breathings. And so it is it help one to training and disciplining one's mind. So in the sense that instead of our minds, mental attentions being everywhere, so in this meditation, so we discipline or we direct the mind just on the breath. So which is just to simply, as we breathe in, so we just being aware that knowing that I am breathing in, the breath coming in, and then as you breathe out, then aware of and knowing that the breaths coming in, and just as much as possible to keep some of the mental attention is on this incoming and outgoing breath. Okay. So just for a few minutes, so we do these breathing meditations.
Thank you. 다 좀아 아니 다 젠데이는다 제시마이는다 대시인 되고요래 아니 등하면 돼 봐. 되지 돼요. Te zata deshi ndege na ani ta deshi singhe te da ani dunga singhe kangalo ni kawane yungor-sina rongi ge jala tene yungde ge yores.
So we ourselves and all, other sentient beings. So we all, always, wish for happiness, but not wishing for sufferings, in this life as well as is in futures. And so now what we need to now explore or find out is the causes for this, where causes for this, the happiness that we wish for, and the suffering that which we do not wish for.
Chita ta ane dunga mandewa na ne dunga ne jete dongko yore dewan dewa na ne dewan depi ne alaso dewan juwe ne ta jete drug yores.
So since we do not wish do not wish for the suffering or unhappiness, so we must abandon the causes of the sufferings, causes for it, and then on the other hand, since we wish for happiness, so we must accumulate, we must create the causes for it.
Chetsanga ne sangyega ne dani ngenyi sene chisunjo yore ane tekar seite sene sozol dewa guye na ane sozol ti dewe ge jete drog yores ane dewe drapala tene ane sozol dewa togre sene ane tinsungo yores.
And then the Lord Buddha, then the advice that each individual, are responsible for, the achieving happiness or for, avoiding sufferings. So, because the Buddha said that you are your own protector or the masters. So therefore, we have to, each individual must realize that since you wish for happiness, so it must occur to us as well that I must create the causes of happiness, and since I do not wish for sufferings, then it should occur to oneself that I must abandon the causes of sufferings.
Onata dunga ge dong ge na ani ta sozo pena control do shedon la super lui jete sozo go zo yerte na chena te shilu na sine le sona ani ti chente la ani donle kande se ko re sine ne shunji sama no jinyo la ste ani di gu chi te su jon deus.
So there are the causes for things to happen, like because that due to the causes that we experience, sufferings, and so therefore in this text that we are studying here, so in which we find out about the what kind of causes that brings about these sufferings that we do not want, and as well as the text give us advice to how we can we can handle, we can cope with this the causes, or the suffering that we experience, as well as to how to handle the overcoming the causes for those sufferings.
Hetijeti karara sunyo desena rungi shedon dawo matna ne shiro dawo ta shimpe warjas 대시 샹도 니제 뭐 삐기 로젠도 자셀론레 인스 데로와 팅올레 존데스.
So if we now return to the text, the teaching on the text, so now we read up to the verse 20, so which read, while the enemy of your own anger is unsubdued, though you conquer external foes, they will only increase. Therefore, with the militia of love and compassion, subdue your own mind. This is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
다티 텐도 가르치는 것이나 아니 자타체 노치 자 통제가 노네니 시던 덕가와데 루지치 군조도 시동라서 비그 니무 바트레 존데스 대도 언더와이나 아니 메세나 더와 문주와테 나지가 아니 시기 자와트서도 로지가마 은존도고요 레스네 드니송도스.
So we find in this verse that of all the obstacles or all the enemies or the threat that we face, then what we find is that the worst are the anger, like the worst are the mental like a defilement in the form of mental defilement which we generate within in our mind, like in the form of like anger, jealousies, desires, and so forth. And it's saying that these are the worst enemies, our worst the threats, and also in terms of now and these are the of all the other enemies. So these are the hardest or the most difficult for us to win over.
tenzani kesi ane susu ge je kontro to shedon la su pinyi mu pate manda wache ane shi dra ta ji mo ja mo se tni kar che wa ina ya ane shi dra la ne zoya me wa de ji se na ni se na je ne zoya me wa ka se te che wa ina mur ro ya de ane chi nya do na shi cha go res.
And then we learn in here that how by destroying or defeating these enemies within us, and then just as if we destroy all the exhaust all the fires, then all the smokes will be also will be stopped, prevented, and so all the enemies then will be destroyed. So whereas on the other hand, instead of the giving a defeat to this enemy within ourselves in the form of like the hatred, desires, jealousy, and so forth. So if we recognize the external obstacles, as some kind of cause, the harm that come from the externally as enemies, and then trying to, it is saying that trying to defeating these external enemies. So it's like the never ending, like the battles, in the sense that if we defeat one enemies, then there's another two more arise, and but if you defeat that, then there's more arise. So there's no, we would never be able to win over the enemies.
Tenga tu ta tisun zamali chachana shido ani pawo sentra lohu chembo sekranda kandeji yena yo ani diga ni so ko kedo kasi chembo chicha de yena yo ani so jade zu thya mewa de dang so je tongchi le jade ko re sro
we can observe in the world that no matter that how if in the world if we could find any person who can be the the most powerful one and the most the courageous ones, no matter how courageous that person is, we will only find that they would be that person would be never be able to win over all the enemies.
제자 다 자제 흉지 세만원지 시기 저어데 베데 짬에 동하고니 다시 가르치고 그래서나 자도 니에 토젤 대원데 되지 시험바도 능아도 전되지 이제가 아니 뭐잖아다 다 바르비거니 셜로그 자도 노로그 자도 차소 아니 명제가 되냐서 랭고요 그래서
So instead of the recognizing the enemy, externally, and then to trying to defeating the enemies. So here we learn that that we should rather recognize the worst enemies is within ourselves, and then accordingly, the text also shows now to what we need to defeat that inner enemies. So is that it is said that what we need is the cultivating love, is a loving kindness, which a genuine and sincerely wishes for the happiness for all other beings, and as well as the generating compassions, which truly wishes for all the other beings to be free of sufferings. And so it's saying that how in here we find that these love and compassions are in fact the one thing, the means through which then we can conquer, we can win over all the enemies, the external as well as the internal ones.
단델라니 신주네라니 백가르존의 수요르세나 신주가 nin노라니 아니 사티 토젤라니 다 세마다고 그비 내시에 같은 칸데여나 아니 소소 다 실론로할 때서 수야가 년가에 와이나 아니 소소가 다 때무지 쳇달라 아니 다 실로르다 디 바꿔야다 아니 다도솔 거나더니 그 유네 대체와이나 대체 태야요 말이스 텔레 소소소 딜홍구요 다지체 과홍구요 다지체 로잖아니 사디 차송비 고에 유와도 집발에 수술 수다가 말이스 대나지거니 소소소 다 쇼니젤라 소파가 가자 콘도데 메와 지셔이나 시그다데 로지마 단도 그래스네 드니수요레스
So, relating to this, the content of this verse, so we also find in the Shantideva's text, Bodhisattva's way of life. So, where in which the Shantideva used the analogies of that how suppose if the whole ground is filled with the so many prickles and thorns, that which is if it is which making us very difficult to walk on, and so if we have to in order to walk on that ground, so if we were to cover that whole ground with some some material or some leather, it says it's impossible. So likewise, it's also impossible if we have to remove all the prickles and tones or everything on the ground is impossible. So therefore, what it says is all we need is just a good a ladder, cover one's feet with a ladder, and that's all. Then we will be able to, to cross over. So along the same line, so what we understand in this verse is that we must if we meditate on this love and compassions in the sense of just the enhancing this love and compassion to arise within our mind, and then this is like an equivalent of covering one's feet with a ladder, and so be able to be the equivalent of then getting rid of all the enemies or all the causes of the harms for one's loss.
다 디지제티거니 아니 다 수소로 등아요 그게 실로니 지제소나 가대 조치 수저리스 다 양등아 리 가시지 로닝이네 추심에 발라테네 아니 제 드리그 제 발라테네 용 같은 요래 될 가대 조치데 다나 리고 지제티 수용도스.
So having found out what we need to do to overcome the external, really the causes of sufferings, causes of harm, like what we need to do, then as he's saying, we need to the best weapon, the best means is to cultivating love and compassions to overcome all that. So having mentioned this now in the next verse, then the text talk show us what about if this cause of harm, if it arises within ourselves, such as the like a dissatisfactions that if that arises in our mind, and how we can overcome that. That's mentioned in the next verse.
On that's on a carsuna, Devi Tilisi Chedundras, Chizoshi to Sepan Peveranges, Kula Shinjo Shiving Ipono, Chalapon, Jaselon Leis.
So to read the verse 21, sensual pleasures are like salt water. The more you indulge, the more thirst increases. Abandon at once those things which breed clinging attachment. So this is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
Rejala Sopatapi, Tana Milin Zepa, and Sana Shimba, and a Chamba in an Jumbo, and it Niga, Yete, Puying et Nig. Yana, ne Tendiga Tonsonata, Carson and Mazzole, Case Shunayo, or Tesejigoya, and a Chapan Pegres, and a Soso in a Tushi Machena. Lensi chidundra what is a lensi chisingi ta tsaka chandawna jesa de kase tungwa ina tese tungungish then nujiga ni ani sepa pendogre es chushe machena.
So now to go through the meaning of this verse, so when it says the sensual pleasures are like salt water. So here the sensual pleasures, which refers to the form of pleasure that we experience through like indulging in the like five sensories objects, like the beautiful form that we can look at, and the like the sound, like that we can the beautiful sound that to hear. For hearing, to hear, and then the smells, and then the, like a taste, and then the like a touch. So what is saying? All these sensual objects, the has no qualities to really to fully to content or to satisfy our mind. So it's saying that because these sensual pleasures are like a salt water, which the salt in the water, so which if you drink, it won't quench your thirst. So rather, more you drink that, more more thirst you will have. So likewise, if relating to those sensual objects, unless we control our this desire towards those objects, then we would never be satisfied with that. So they are like the salt, the salt waters. So more you indulgence, more you experience that, then then more you wanting to experience, then the more cravings you would have for those objects. So advice here is to not to be have a strong desire, strong attachment to these objects. So the advice is we must diminish, we must reduce such our mental attachment or mental craving for those these sensual objects by knowing that they unless we do that, otherwise by knowing that it will never give a full satisfactions.
Kudu seshe sikarwata shonju yisen tiga ni tela tene ni nyole tela ni ni susu dunga ponga dewa tate ni sujon dus tan di gune ni teto seshe la tene ni ta susu dunga le dutse shega dus.
So up to this verse, really this the text, this of this 37 Practices of Bodhisattvas, really teaches on the of the two types of the bodhicitta, these conventionals or relative bodhicittas is mentioned, and but then now after this, in the subsequent verses. Now the text focuses on the ultimate the bodhicittas.
Oh yeah, ta devu teto seshe sena, ane tuni nges tupi lo, teyu teche tonlo yenche ge, ane tuni nges tupi lo chile jogo yore, ane ta tela tene ta teche wala ne ta tumani te teche she ko yore nane bi tije chila tumani ke tendere de dus.
So they explicitly saw this this text here when he said the ultimate bodhicitta here is referred to the ultimate bodhicittas, as generated by those, Mahayana practitioners on the path of seeing, on the path of seeing and above, is referring to that. The ultimate bodhicitta is more specifically is referring to the wisdoms of emptiness. wisdom of the which realize the ultimate truth. So as gained by the Mahayana on the path of seeing and the above. So therefore now to here, so we need to understand. We need to find out about what is that the ultimate truth.
Tandi unimi tuni to be sharala tene, any sen digda, dewata, shimi nekaso, dewat tetchikaji sujon this. So we find in the following verses about even the how through gaining this wisdom of emptiness, how we can benefit ourselves in this life and in future life. 당아서 네 돈이 두빙에서 또 비셔라시아 와라 돈이 시에 그요래 돈이 생에 때니 다 내려 타도 세네 드리시에 거래 다데 또 와라 네 레라오지요 말했어 아니 대자 다데 가르치는 레라고요 말했으나 아니 템바 돈보 송지에네 아니 샤보시 샹아이나 샤게나 치마스네 주어 디그네 가슬 템베 가르치요 말했으나 니 드즈타위 치신이야 소데 이나 아니 단다시에사가 해대대로 오면 되으세네 아니 대수네는 내가지 돈이데 마수와레스 드즈타위 치데 또 많이 다와데래 돼요레스
So as I mentioned so earlier, so this verse, they mention about the wisdom, like the direct wisdoms of emptiness or realizing emptiness, and so therefore we need to understand the concept of emptiness, and so that is the emptiness is regarded as the ultimate realities, the final truth, final realities. So therefore, it is not something that we can understand very easily, and we find even Lord Buddha in Lord Buddha's life story, how after he gained the complete enlightenment, so he didn't teach for about 45 to 49 days, and where there was a word the statement by the Buddha, where Buddha saying how even though I have found these the nectar-like dharmas, but there is no one there to share this, and so therefore I go into the solitary solitude place. So this is to show, this statement is also is to indicate the subtleties of this the view of emptiness, for in order to understand or to gain the understanding of it.
아니 대도지 아니 대인자네 템베오니 다시시다네 아니 돈보니 아니 구조로 잡듯이 다음에 봐도 아니 아지 니젤라 소파 네 지젤라 템비 텐데임 봐도 아니 든디전에 아니 럼바지도 요시네 아니 요스 든디가 럼바지 네 순조여레스.
And then, then later on, then of course the Buddha then began to teach on this the emptiness, or this the ultimate truth that he realized himself, but he taught this in a very skillful way. In that that initially he taught the emptiness on a very on a gross level, such as his presentations on the view of the selflessness, in terms of the the absence of the autonomous, or this substantially subsistent self, that view. And then then he began to talk on the emptiness from the point of view of how things dependent upon the causes and conditions, and so in this way, in starting presenting from the gross level of the selflessness, and then he eventually then he presented the subtle the level of the emptiness loss.
That energy re ni jirmuche ya ni jisinjombe yonda ni pa tuni kol doli chi di sala ni jisinjombe u tuni kol mombo sundi sala jirmuche mo da ki ko mo dusene ani tunu ya shi di sala ni ta ni jombe u mal kar su mar sene ta charo ani tsuzo tjo chi ani tsuzo tjo chi ni ta pesha ti ta jaju de ji apo lu shus ani ta ni kale koyung kres ani jukyu ni kishi tanda hieza te do rjibe ko choro kotwa ji yung kres ne ani shisan koro tsuzo to ya buchi ne ani tni to ni to ya kan lo chi yores.
So we also find in the life story of the Tsongkhapas, so in which in search of this the ultimate truth, ultimate view of emptiness, was then the main teacher whom he relied upon is the Manjushri himself. And then, but however, as the Manjushri began to impart this teaching on the emptiness, and then eventually, Tsongkhapa found it harder and harder to understand, and then he replied that he could not understand the meaning. And then so at that point, then Manjushri said, stop teaching, and then he advised the Tsongkhapas to go and accumulate merit, and do the purification practice, and also continue the studying on all the great texts of the ancient Indian Buddhist masters. So it is by following these advices of the Manjushris of the that Tsongkhapa, through engaging in a vigorous practices of accumulating merit and purifying and doing a purification practice, and then doing a extensive study of this ancient texts, Buddhist, the classical Buddhist texts. Then eventually, he found the ultimate view.
ndo dewa rujapa sezo matandi rimba jeta ani dome taron desala ani genzo no masin rimba jeta jun tani za chi lewa ina ani tese kole la esar matushe ta tani za lela o malewa che ani hote ka machi te chi chena tese ko ka we sares.
So it's very vitally important that if we want to really to find out gain the precise understanding of this view of emptiness, then we have to start from the start this study on this emptiness, on view of emptiness from the bottom. That is to, like, if we have to climb on the like a ladder, we got to start from the bottom. So like that, we start first. We have to understand for example, the view of the selflessness of all the lower school of Buddhist philosophy, or the tenets such as the Vaibhashikas and Sotantrikas and the Chittamatri and so on. So how this lower school, each school, what is to understand their each school presentations on the view of selflessness, and from the Vaibhashikas, and how then you move to the next school, Sotantrika, how an understanding that, and how that is different against the Vaibhashikas, and so in this way there is a if we approach, and so there is a chance, there's a possibility for us to understand the precise view of emptiness. So otherwise it will be extremely, in fact, it's impossible to understand the view of emptiness. So now, according to the text, so we're up to the teaching on the view of emptiness, or the ultimate truth, is on verse 22. Whatever appears in your own mind, so your mind from the start was free from fabricated extremes. So understanding these, do not take to mind the inherent sign of subject and objects. So this is the practice of Bodhisattvas.
That it and occurs, that chitoje, the Pachi, that rungin a trapato. Ni Demba Trapangoni, Junsi, Yomarite, Inaya, Mazola, Tochi, and Pashuni Yawana, which you know the Gores. Then the no de Goremato, Mazola Chitoche pa me to Dalat in the top of Tonji, Chine, Lol Shagayo Mares.
So if we take into consideration of the how how things appear to our mind, or how we view the things on one hand, and on the other hand how things exist in reality, how they are. So how things they are, or they exist in realities, so is that there's nothing there, which nothing, even an atom, that actually exists from its own sides, from its own rights. So in other words, that nothing truly exists. And so that is in realities. And this is to show that since they do not exist from their own right, so this is to show that their existence is merely dependent, merely designated. And however, if we observe how things appear to our mind, how we view the things, how we view these things, then we find that in the way things appear to our mind, or the way we view the things, there's nothing which seems to appear as merely labeled, merely designated. So it doesn't appear like that.
제장안에 당 가솔은 노원 노지기 예와이나 가지고 파 제지 노디살라 아니 대니에고요 그래서 이나요 대니에고요 말했어 빼나 가서 구조한다고 되지 차와셔요이나 아니 구조대 파 제지와이나 아니 이 구조대 핀보대 구조라는 거다 라파대 구조라는 것도 고대 구조라는 것도 파지 제지와이나 아니 또 석군지 구조를 해요 말했어.
So in our mind, so things may appear to have some a true existence, have some concrete and some real existence, and but then if we look for it, if that is the case, if that's the way things exist, and if we search for that thing, then we won't be able to find that thing as they appear to our mind, as we view the things. We are not able to find. For example, if we think of this a person, or like this oneself, or this I, and when we think of ourselves, we have some sort of idea of who we are, but then when we look for that I, we can't find it. We can't say. We will, or in fact, we will know that what we find is this form body. Of course, that is not I. That is not oneself. And likewise, if we if you consider every part of our body, like our head, like our hand, and so forth, then none of the part of our body is I, or is, we can call it, that's me.
제장아 다 공부도 라파도 파사세 디실 구조 많이 빠지 구조 많이 빠지 요래서 대양 아니 또 많이 해요 말했어. 아니 가르세나 디실다 구조 매워도 비고 로티고 아니 다 구조 공부도 라파라서 파 구조 많이 빠또 빠전지리 마또 고자 대고 그래 마또서 제페가 네 구조 다 롱라 구조 노원 노지가 롱이는 노원 노지가 롱이는 저빠대 거고요 말했어.
And then, so in this way, upon the search of the self, then we are not able to. We come to the dead end where we are not. It is unfindable. We come to that. It is unfindable. So now that conclusion that we reached in our mind, that that I is something that you cannot, it's not findable. So if you say, is that the view of emptiness, then of course it's not.
제장하다 원하니 tumani te condition is 그랬으나 원하 녀라니 tumani 고자세그나 소소를 홍서때 간데스 홍거도 고자때 간데스 홍거도 대기 마저나니
So of course then the next question is, so what is the emptiness? If that unfindability of I or the self, if that's not the ultimate truth, ultimate reality of ourselves, then what is that? And what is the emptiness then? So then it is said that to understand to gain the understanding of the emptiness, then we must identify the opposite to of the emptiness. That is the object of like a negations. When we use the word the emptiness, so what emptiness is empty of. So what is this? So we need to, until and unless we have a clear recognitions of the object of negations. We won't be able to gain the knowledge of emptiness.
Ancha tensa intni izatni ngachol nonji ni noya kanga ni demba trepi ni goja tunje ne chi no de go yori te ina yo ngachi ngi ne te nong ye bode ha ko yo maris da khandi ne ka sa ko wersena pena ni maji ga susol kamarin da wona ji kunro shu sesuna susol kunro shu chimolong do dedi chala ni phaju kamate ina yo pi khar sekreta pi kamate pi lapenji ya wone ji do pi muchapa ji do tatni ji chimboji sosongi ne ina pi nga singete pi lape su ya wa ji no de go yores tini no de ni ta goje no wa de is ne ani tini su jon des
so the in our experience, like in a everyday experience, in everyday experience, we experience this the object of negation, because whenever we we have the appearance of this object of negations, when we whenever we perceive any objects. So along with that, we have the object of negations. That is, for example, the intrinsic, as whatever object that the perceived object to have some sort of intrinsic the existence, have an intrinsic like a self, as an identity of that objects. So we have that appearance. So yet we are not able to recognize it, even though it appear. The object of negation always appear to our mind, but yet we are not able to recognize it. Recognize the self which we supposed to negate, which we supposed to refute. We're not able to recognize that. So so it is said that however, so we need to however, if we investigate the how the I or the self appear to our mind in situations, where, for example, someone accuse you as a thief, as a thief, and so in that kind of such a high the emotions that where someone accuse you as a thief when you have not stolen anything, and then you feel strong sense of like you will think, how dare he call you as a thief, and so you have this strong sense of I experience of your identity of yourself. So in that moment, it is said that if we examine, if we investigate, so it is possible to identify this self, as if like the because the self, your experience of this self as a truly existent, as an intrinsic, concrete reality is very apparent. And at that moment, you can see, you can identify the self as if it's a real, let's say if there's some person there, you can, somebody who's like a thief there, you can go and apprehend the thief. So similarly, it is there is a good chance of like catching this self, which is the object of negations.
Ya ni kepang gashe ga ni goja nongze de la ni pejo di sal kari jo di sana soso ta kumba tso thombo tne ma sato na chi di sala ni pi e ti di sala ta ni lapo de sagre ni ngo de sagre somba me wa che nga so re somba ji nga singi ji shu chimbo ji soso nong de ji ores o ti di sala ni goja tunde ne nga de nong yo re es ni ane tni go pejo ga ta kepang gashin do serwa.
And also there's some scholars, who use an example of the how you are experience, a person experience if you are on the standing on the edge of the very high, like a building, and just about to fall. There's a danger of falling down of that, from the top of that the buildings. So at that moment, your fear that you're going to fall down, you will fall down. It's not associated with your body. You're not fearing that your body is going to fall down, or your head's going to fall down. But rather, your feeling is, I'm going to fall down. I'm going to die. I'm in danger. So, and how some scholars say is that at that moment that this I or the self, which is considered as an object of negations, can be identified, very vividly.
제장하다 구조 생애때 뒤 내가서는 네 로라 노노지 그 매파테 네 돈바니레스네 아니 드니 순고요레스.
So the having identified that, clearly identified that self, which is the object of negations in this like a theory or the view of emptiness or the view of selflessness, and having identified that, and then to be able to say that that doesn't reflect the true self. That is not the way you exist, or you or yourself or the I exists, or this person exists. That how the way the self, that you appear in that moment, and then to be able to reject or refute that as the way that the I exists. So that's the way that lead one to the understanding of the selflessness or emptiness.
제장아니다 구조를 자원나지 건다 지통제를 받는 존이 자는 로에스 지통제 된 것을 드니지 노되고 요리도 이나야 다때 구조대 노즈대 대칭에서 대원하시로 어디 전에 구조를 빼지 않으셔야 되고 그래 마도시 아니 지통제 같은 돈이 차대요래 어디 재산이 대진 강가를 봐야야 레스.
So as far as the view of the selflessness goes, or the emptiness goes, so all the things are same. There's no difference. So like just as in here, we use a person or yourself as an example, and how then you the understanding with the understanding of the emptiness or the selflessness, then means to realizing that the I or the person do not exist the way the I appeared to have the existence to one's mind. And so in the same way, you can also take any object, anything, any phenomena, and then in the same way you can understand that object that also do not exist in a way that that it appears to our mind, to have an existence that appear to our mind. So we'll have to leave the tonight's teaching here. Thank you.
Understand?